Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the one and only Britney Spears. The one and only, repeating. Some of them called her the princess of pop, but I honestly think that she is the queen, and not even the queen, the goddess of pop. A true icon and an iconic influence of pop culture, music culture, and in general in culture. So stay with me through this video and let's dive in her crazy, adventurous story full of romance, love, drama, lies, controversy, and a lot of conspiracy. But nevertheless, filled with a lot of talent, great music, and the most kind-hearted person in the world. Britney Jean Spears, born on December 2nd, 1981, is an American singer and songwriter. Often referred to as the Princess of Pop, she is credited with influencing the revival of teen pop during the late 90s and early 2000s. Spears has sold over 100 million records worldwide, including over 70 million in the United States, making her one of the world's best-selling music artists. She has earned numerous awards and accolades, including a Grammy, 15 Guinness World Records, 6 MTV Video Music Awards, 7 Billboard Music Awards, including the Millennium Award, the inaugural Radio Disney Icon Award, and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her heavily choreographed videos earned her the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award. After appearing in stage productions and television series, Spears signed with Jive Records in '97 and age 15. Her first two studio albums, Baby One More Time and Oops, I Did It Again, are among the best-selling albums of all time and made Spears the best-selling teenage artist of all time. With first week sales for over 1.3 million copies, Oops, I Did It Again held the record for the fastest-selling album by a female artist in the United States for 15 years. She adopted a more mature and provocative style for her albums Britney and In the Zone in 2003 and starred in the 2002 film Crossroads. She was executive producer of her fifth studio album Blackout, often referred to as her best work. Following a series of highly publicized personal problems, promotion for the album was limited and Spears was involuntarily placed in a conservatorship. Subsequently, she released the chart-topping album Circus and Femme Fatale, the latter of which became her most successful era of singles in the US charts. With 3 in 2009 and Hold It Against Me in 2011, she became the second artist after Mariah Carey in the Billboard Hot 100's history to debut at number 1 with 2 or more songs. She embarked on a 4-year concert residency, Britney Piece of Me, at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, to promote her next 2 albums, Britney Jean and Glory. In 2019, Spears' legal battle over her conservatorship became more publicized and led to the establishment of the Free Britney movement. In 2021, the conservatorship was terminated following her public testimony in which she accused her management team and family of abuse. In the United States, Spears is the 4th best-selling female album artist of the Nielsen SoundScan era, as well as the best-selling female album artist of the 2000s. She was ranked by Billboard as the 8th biggest artist of the 2000s. The singer has amassed 6 number 1 albums on the Billboard 200 and 5 number 1 singles on the US Billboard Hot 100. Baby One More Time, Womanizer, 3, Hold It Against Me, and S&M, the remix. Other hit singles include Oops, I Did It Again, Toxic, and I'm a Slave for You. Baby One More Time was named the greatest debut single of all time by Rolling Stone in 2020. In 2004, Spears launched a perfume brand with Elizabeth Arden Incorporated. The sales exceeded 1.5 billion as of 2012. Forbes has reported Spears as the highest earning female musician of 2001 and 2012. By 2012, she had topped Yahoo's list of most searched celebrities 7 times in 12 years. Time named Spears one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2021, while also winning the Reader poll by receiving the highest number of votes. Britney Jean Spears was born on December 2nd, 1981 in Macomb, Mississippi, the second child of James Jamie Parnell Spears and Lynn Irene Bridges. Her maternal grandmother Lillian Portel was English, born in London, and one of Spears' maternal great-grandfathers was Maltese. Her siblings are Brian James Spears and Jamie Lynn Spears. Born in the Bible Belt, where socially conservative evangelical Protestantism is a particularly strong religious influence, she was baptized as a Southern Baptist and sang in a church choir as a child. As an adult, she has studied Kabbalist teachings. On 5th of August 2021, she announced that she had converted to Catholicism. Her mother, sister, and nieces Maddie Aldrich and Yvette Joan Watson are also Catholic. However, on September 5, 2022, after Spears' ex-husband Kevin Federline and youngest son did an interview defending her father's actions during her conservatorship, she stated, "I don't believe in God anymore because of the way my children and my family have treated me. There is nothing to believe in anymore. I'm an atheist, y'all." At the age of 3, Spears began attending dance lessons in her hometown in Kentwood, Louisiana, and was selected to perform as a solo artist at the annual recital. Aged 5, she made her social stage debut singing "What Child Is This?" at her kindergarten graduation. During her childhood, she also had gymnastics and voice lessons and won many state-level competitions and children's talent shows. In gymnastics, Spears attended Bella Caroli training camp. She said of her ambition as a child, "I was in my own world. I found out what I'm supposed to do at an early age." When Spears was 8, she and her mother, Lynn, traveled to Atlanta, Georgia to audition for the 1990s revival of the Mickey Mouse Club. Casting director Matt Casella rejected her as too young, but introduced her to Nancy Carson, a New York City talent agent. Carson was impressed with Spears' singing and suggested enrolling her at the Professional Performing Arts School. Shortly afterward, Lynn and her daughters moved to a sublet apartment in New York. Spears was hired for her first professional role as the understudy of the lead role of Tina Denmark in the off-Broadway musical Ruthless. She also appeared as a contestant on the popular television show Star Search and was cast in a number of commercials. In December 1992, she was cast in the Mickey Mouse Club alongside Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and Gary Russell. After the show was cancelled in 1994, she returned to Mississippi and enrolled at Matt Combs' Park Lane Academy. Although she made friends with most of her classmates, she compared the school to the opening scene in Clueless with all the cliques. "I was so bored. I was the point guard on the basketball team. I had my boyfriend and I went to homecoming and Christmas formal, but I wanted more." In June 1997, she was in talks with manager Lou Pearlman to join the female pop group Innocence. Lynn asked family friend and entertainment lawyer Larry Rudolph for his opinion and submitted a tape of Spears singing over Whitney Houston karaoke song along with some pictures. Rudolph decided that he wanted to pitch her to record labels, for which she needed a professional demo made. He sent Spears an unused song of Toni Braxton. She rehearsed for a week and recorded her vocals in a studio. She traveled to New York with the demo and met with executives from 4 labels, returning to Kentwood the same day. 3 of the labels rejected her, saying the audiences wanted pop bands such as the Backstreet Boys and the Spice Girls, and there wasn't going to be another Madonna, another Debbie Gibson, or another Tiffany. 2 weeks later, executives from Jive Records returned calls to Rudolph. Senior Vice President of A&R Jeff Fenster said about Spears' audition that it's very rare to hear someone that age who can deliver emotional content and commercial appeal. For any artist, the motivation, the eye of the tiger is extremely important, and Britney had that. Spears sang Houston's I Have Nothing for the executives and was subsequently signed to the label. They assigned her to work with producer Eric Foster White for a month. He reportedly shaped her voice from lower and less poppy delivery to distinctively unmistakably Britney. After hearing the recorded material, President Clive Cowder ordered a full album. Spears had originally envisioned Sheryl Crow's music, but younger, more adult contemporary. She felt secure with her label's appointment of producers, since it made more sense to go pop because I can dance to it, it's more me. She flew to Chiron Studios in Stockholm, Sweden, where half of the album was recorded from March to April 1998, with producers Max Martin, Dennis Pop, and Rami Jacob, among others. After Spears returned to the United States, she embarked on a shopping mall promotional tour titled L'Oreal Hair Zone Mall Tour to promote her upcoming debut album. Her show was a 4-song set and she was accompanied by 2 backup dancers. Her first concert tour followed as an opening act of NSYNC. Her debut studio album, Baby One More Time, was released on January 12, 1999. It debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 and was certified 2 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America after a month. Worldwide, the album topped the charts in 15 countries and sold over 10 million copies in a year. It became the biggest-selling album ever by a teenage artist. Baby One More Time was released as the lead single from the album. Originally, Jive Records wanted its music video to be animated, however, Spears rejected it and suggested the final concept of a Catholic schoolgirl. The single sold 500,000 copies on its first day and peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, topping the chart for 2 consecutive weeks. It has sold more than 10 million copies, making it one of the best-selling singles of all time. Baby One More Time later received a Grammy nomination for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance. The title track also topped the single chart for 2 weeks in the United Kingdom and became the fastest-selling single ever by a female artist, shipping over 460,000 copies. It would later become the 25th most successful song of all time in British chart history. Spears is the youngest female artist to have a million seller in the UK. The album's 3rd single, You Drive Me Crazy, became a top 10 hit worldwide and further propelled the success of the Baby One More Time album. The album has sold 25 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time. It is the best-selling debut album by any artist. On June 28, 1999, Spears began her first headlining Baby One More Time tour in North America, which was positively received by critics. It also generated some controversy due to her racy outfits. An extension of the tour, titled You Drive Me Crazy Tour, followed in March 2000s. Spears premiered songs from her upcoming second album during the show. Oops, I Did It Again, Spears' second studio album, was released in May 2000. It debuted at number 1 in the US, selling 1.3 million copies, breaking the Nielsen SoundScan record for the highest debut sales by any solo artist. It has sold over 20 million copies worldwide to date, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time. Rob Sheffield of Rolling Stone said that the great thing about Oops, under the cheese surface, Britney's demand for satisfaction is complex, fierce and downright scary, making her a true child of rock and roll tradition. The album's lead single, Oops, I Did It Again, peaked at the top of the charts in Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and many other European nations, while the second single, Lucky, peaked at number 1 in Austria, Germany, Sweden, and Switzerland. The album, as well as the title track, received Grammy nominations for Best Pop Vocal Album and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, respectively. The same year, Spears embarked on the Oops, I Did It Again tour, which grossed $40.5 million. She also released her first book, Britney Spears Heart to Heart, co-written with her mother. On September 7, 2000, Spears performed at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards. Halfway through the performance, she ripped off her black suit to reveal a sequined flesh-colored bodysuit, followed by a heavy dance routine. It is noted by critics as the moment that Spears showed signs of becoming a more provocative performer. Amidst media speculation, Spears confirmed she was dating NSYNC member Justin Timberlake. Spears and Timberlake both graduated from high school via distance learning from the University of Nebraska High School. She also bought a home in Destin, Florida. In January 2001, she hosted the 28th Annual American Music Awards, starred at Rock in Rio alongside NSYNC, and performed as a special guest in the Super Bowl halftime show headlined by Aerosmith and NSYNC. In February 2001, she signed a $7.8 million promotional deal with Pepsi and released another book co-written with her mother titled A Mother's Gift. Her self-titled third studio album, Britney, was released in November 2001. While on tour, she felt inspired by hip-hop artists such as Jay-Z and the Neptunes and wanted to create a record with a funkier sound. The album debuted at number 1 in the Billboard 200 and reached top 5 positions in Australia, the United Kingdom, the mainland Europe, and has sold 10 million copies worldwide. Stephen Thomas Erlewine of AllMusic called Britney the record where she strives to deepen her persona, making it more adult while still recognizably Britney. It does sound like the work of a star who has now found and refined her voice, resulting in her best record yet. The album was honored with 2 Grammy nominations, Best Pop Vocal Album and Best Female Pop Vocal Performance for Overprotected, and was listed in 2007 as one of Entertainment's weekly 100 best albums from the past 25 years. The album's lead single, I'm a Slave for You, became a top 10 hit worldwide. Spears' performance of the single at the 2001 MTV Video Music Awards featured a caged tiger wrangled by Bhagavan Antle and a large albino python draped over her shoulders. It was harshly received by animal rights organization PETA, who claimed the animals were mistreated and scrapped plans for an anti-fur billboard that was to feature Spears. Jocelyn Vena of MTV summarized Spears' performance at the ceremony, saying, "Draping herself in a white python and slithering around a steamy garden setting surrounded by dancers in zebra and tiger outfits, Spears created one of the most striking visuals in the 27-year history of the show." To support the album, Spears embarked on the Dream Within a Dream tour. The show was critically praised for its technical innovations, the piece de resistance being a water screen that pumped 2 tons of water into the stage. The tour grossed $43 million, becoming the second highest grossing tour of 2002 by a female artist, behind Cher's farewell tour. Her career success was highlighted by Forbes in 2002, as Spears was ranked the world's most powerful celebrity. Spears also landed her first starring role in Crossroads, released in February 2002. Although the film was largely panned, critics praised Spears' acting, and the film was a box office success. Crossroads, which had a $12 million budget, went on to gross over $61 million worldwide. In June 2002, Spears opened her first restaurant, Nila, in New York City, but terminated her relationship in November, citing mismanagement and management's failure to keep her fully apprised. In July 2002, she announced she would take a 6-month break from her career. However, she went back into the studio in November to record her new album. Spears' relationship with Justin Timberlake ended after 3 years. In November 2002, Timberlake released the song "Cry Me a River" as the second single from his solo debut album. The music video featured a Spears look-alike and fueled the rumors that she had been unfaithful to him. As a response, Spears wrote the ballad "Every Time" with her backing vocalist and friend Annette Artani. In August 2003, Spears opened the MTV Video Music Awards with Christina Aguilera performing "Like a Virgin." Halfway through, they were joined by Madonna, with whom they both kissed. The incident was highly publicized. In 2008, MTV listed the performance as the #1 opening moment in the history of MTV Video Music Awards, while Blender magazine cited as one of the 25 sexiest music moments on television history. Spears released her 4th studio album, In the Zone, in November 2003. She assumed more creative control by writing and co-producing most of the material. Vibe coded a supremely confident dance record that also illustrates Spears' development as a songwriter. NPR listed the album as one of the 50 most important recordings of the decade, adding that the decade's history of impeccably crafted pop is written in her body of work. In the Zone sold over 609,000 copies in the United States during its first week of availability in the United States, debuting at the top of the charts, making Spears the first female artist in the SoundScan era to have her first 4 studio albums to debut at #1. It also debuted at the top of the charts in France and the top 10 in Belgium, Denmark, Sweden, and the Netherlands. The album produced 4 singles: Me Against the Music, a collaboration with Madonna; Toxic, which won Spears her first Grammy for Best Dance Recording; Every Time; and Outrageous. In January 2004, Spears married childhood friend Jason Allen Alexander at a little white wedding chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada. The marriage was annulled 55 hours later following a petition to the court that stated that Spears lacked understanding of her actions. In March 2004, she embarked on the Onyx Hotel tour in support of In the Zone. In June 2004, Spears fell and injured her left knee during the music video shoot for Outrageous. She underwent arthroscopic surgery. She was forced to remain 6 weeks with a thigh brace followed by 8 to 12 weeks of rehabilitation, which caused the Onyx Hotel tour to be cancelled. During 2004, Spears became involved in the Kabbalah Center through her friendship with Madonna. In July 2004, she became engaged to dancer Kevin Federline, whom she had met 3 months earlier. The romance was the subject of intense media attention since Federline had recently broken up with actress Shar Jackson, who was still pregnant with their second child at the time. The stages of the relationship were chronicled in Spears' first reality show, Britney and Kevin Chaotic, which premiered on May 17, 2005 on UPN. Spears later referred to the show in a 2013 interview as probably the worst thing I have done in my career. They held a wedding ceremony on September 18, 2004, but were not legally married until 3 weeks later on October 6 due to a delay finalizing the couple's prenuptial agreement. Shortly after, she released her first perfume, Curious with Elizabeth Arden, which broke the company's first week gross for a perfume. In October 2004, Spears took a career break to start a family. Greatest Hits, My Prerogative, her first Greatest Hits compilation album, was released in November 2004. Spears' cover version of Bobby Brown, My Prerogative, was released as the lead single from the album, reaching the top of the charts in Finland, Ireland, Italy and Norway. The second single, Do Something, was a top 10 hit in Australia, the United Kingdom and other countries of mainland Europe. In August 2005, Spears released Someday I Will Understand, which was dedicated to her first child, a son named Sean Preston, who was born the following month. In November 2005, she released her first remix compilation, Be in the Mix, The Remixes, which consists of 11 remixes. In February 2006, pictures surfaced of Spears driving with her son Sean on her lap instead of in a car seat. Child advocates were horrified by the photos of her holding the wheel with one hand and Sean with the other. Spears claimed that the situation happened because of a frightening encounter with paparazzi and that it was a mistake on her part. The following month, she guest starred on the Will and Grace episode Bye Bye Baby as closeted lesbian Amber Louise. She announced she no longer studied Kabbalah in May 2006, explaining, "My baby is my religion." Spears posed nude for the August 2006 cover of Harper's Bazaar. The photograph was compared to Demi Moore's August 1991 Vanity Fair cover. And in September 2006, she gave birth to her second son, Jaden James. In November 2006, Spears filed for divorce from Federline, citing irreconcilable differences. Their divorce was finalized in July 2007 when the two reached a global settlement and agreed to share joint custody of their sons. Spears' maternal aunt, Sandra Bridges Covington, with whom she had been very close, died of ovarian cancer in January 2007. In February, Spears stayed in a drug rehabilitation facility in Antigua for less than a day. The following night, She shaved her head with electric clippers at a hair salon in Tarzana, Los Angeles. She admitted herself to other treatment facilities during the following weeks. In May 2007, she produced a series of promotional concerts at House of Blues venues titled the M&M's Tour. In October 2007, Spears lost physical custody of her sons to Federline. The reasons of the court ruling were not revealed to the public. Spears was also sued by Louis Vuitton over her 2005 music video Do Something for upholstering her Hummer interior in counterfeit Louis Vuitton cherry blossom fabric, which resulted in the video being banned on the European TV stations. In October 2007, she released her fifth studio album Blackout. The album debuted at atop the charts in Canada and Ireland, at number 2 in the US Billboard 200, France, Japan, Mexico, and the United Kingdom, and top 10 in Australia, South Korea, New Zealand, and many European nations. In the United States, it was Spears' first album not to debut at number 1, although she did become the only female artist to have her first 5 studio albums debut at the 2 top slots of the chart. The album received positive reviews from critics and had sold 3.1 million copies worldwide by the end of 2008. Blackout won Album of the Year at the 2008 MTV Europe Music Awards and was listed as the 5th best pop album of the decade by The Times. Spears performed the lead single Give Me More at the 2007 MTV Video Music Awards. The performance was widely panned by critics. Despite the criticism, the single enjoyed worldwide success, peaking at number 1 in Canada and within the top 10 in almost every country charted. The second single, Piece of Me, reached the top of the charts in Ireland and reached the top 5 in Australia, Canada, Denmark, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. The third single, Break the Ice, was released the following year and respectively reached numbers 7 and 9 in Ireland and Canada. In December 2007, Spears began relationship with paparazzo Adnan Ghalib. In January 2008, Spears refused to relinquish custody of her sons to Federline's representatives. She was hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center after police that had arrived at her house noted that she appeared to be under the influence of an unidentified substance. The following day, Spears' visitation rights were suspended at an emergency court hearing, and Federline was given sole physical and legal custody of their sons. She was committed to the psychiatric ward of Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center and put on 5150 involuntary psychiatric hold under California state law. The court placed her under a conservatorship led by her father, Jamie Spears, and attorney Andrew Wallet, giving them complete control of her assets. She was released 5 days later. The following month, Spears guest starred on the How I Met Your Mother episode 10 Sessions as receptionist Abby. She received positive reviews for her performance as well as bringing the series its highest ratings ever. In July 2008, Spears regained some visitation rights after coming to an agreement with Federline and his counsel. In September 2008, she opened the MTV Video Music Awards with a pre-taped comedy sketch with Jonah Hill and an introduction speech. She won Best Female Video, Best Pop Video, and Video of the Year for Piece of Me, a 60-minute introspective documentary Britney, for the Record was produced to chronicle Spears' return to the recording industry. Directed by Phil Griffin, For the Record was shot in Beverly Hills, Hollywood, and New York City during the third quarter of 2008. The documentary was broadcast on MTV to 5.6 million viewers for the two airings on the premiere night. It was the highest rating in its Sunday night time slot and in the network's history. In December 2008, Spears' sixth studio album Circus was released. It received positive reviews from critics and debuted at #1 in Canada, Czech Republic and the United States, and within the top 10 in many European nations. In the United States, Spears became the youngest female artist to have 5 albums debut at #1, earning a place in the Guinness World Records. She also became the only act in the SoundScan era to have 4 albums debut with 500,000 or more copies sold. The album was one of the fastest selling albums of the year and has sold 4 million copies worldwide. Its lead single Womanizer became Spears' first chart topper on the Billboard Hot 100 since Baby One More Time. The single also topped the charts in Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Finland, France, Norway and Sweden. It was also nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Dance Recording. In January 2009, Spears and her father obtained a restraining order against her former manager Sam Lutfi, ex-boyfriend Adnan Galib, and attorney John Early, all of whom had been accused of conspiring to gain control of Spears' affairs. Spears embarked on the Circus starring Britney Spears tour in March 2009. With a gross of $131 million, it became the 5th highest grossing tour of the year. In November 2009, Spears released her second greatest hits album, The Singles Collection. The album lead and only single 3 became her third #1 single in the US. In May 2010, Spears' representatives confirmed she was dating her agent Jason Travick and that they had decided to end their professional relationship to focus on their personal relationship. Spears designed a limited edition clothing line for Candies, which was released in stores in July 2010, and in September 2010 she made a cameo appearance on a Spears-themed tribute episode of the television series Glee titled Britney Brittany. The episode drew the highest Nielsen rating up to that point in the series run in the 1849 demographic. In March 2011, Spears released her 7th studio album Femme Fatale. The album peaked at #1 in the United States, Canada and Australia, and within the top 10 on nearly every other chart. Its peak in the United States tied Spears with Mariah Carey and Janet Jackson for the third most #1s among women. Femme Fatale has been certified platinum by the RIAA, and as of February 2014 it has sold 2.4 million copies worldwide. The album's lead single, Hold It Against Me, debuted atop the Billboard Hot 100, becoming Spears' fourth #1 single on the chart and making her the second artist in history to have 2 consecutive singles debut at #1 after Mariah Carey. The second single, Till the World Ends, peaked at #3 on the Billboard Hot 100 in May, while the third single, I Wanna Go, reached #7 in August. Femme Fatale became Spears' first album in which 3 of its songs reached the top 10 of the chart. The fourth and final single, Criminal, was released in September 2011. The music video sparked controversy when British politician criticized Spears for using replica guns while filming the video in a London area that had been badly affected by the 2011 England riots. Spears' management briefly responded, stating the video is a fantasy story featuring Britney's boyfriend Jason Travick, which literally plays out the lyrics of a song written 3 years before the riots ever happened. In April 2011, Spears appeared in a remix of Rihanna's song S&M. It reached #1 in the US later that month, giving Spears her 5th #1 on the chart. On Billboard's 2011 year-end list, Spears was ranked number 14 on the Artist of the Year, 32 on Billboard 200 Artists, and 10 on Billboard Hot 100 Artists. Spears co-wrote Whiplash, a song from the album When the Sun Goes Down by Selena Gomez and The Scene. In June 2011, Spears embarked on her Femme Fatale tour. The first 10 dates of the tour grossed $6.2 million, landing the 55th spot on Pollstar Top 100 North American Tours list for the halfway point of the year. The tour ended on December 10, 2011 in Puerto Rico after 79 performances. A DVD of the tour was released in November 2011. And in August, Spears received the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award at the 2011 MTV Video Music Awards. The next month, she released her second album remix, Be in the Music, The Remixes, Volume 2. In December, she became engaged to her longtime boyfriend Jason Travick, who had formerly been her agent. Travick was legally granted a role as co-conservator alongside her father in April 2012. In May 2012, Spears was hired to replace Nicole Scherzinger as a judge for the second season of the US version of The X Factor, joining Simon Cowell, L.A. Wright, and fellow new judge Demi Lovato, who replaced Paula Abdul. With a reported salary of $15 million, she became the highest-paid judge on a singing competition series in television history. However, Katy Perry broke her record in 2018 after Perry was signed for $25 million salary to serve as a judge on ABS revival of American Idol. Spears mentored the teens category. Her final act, Carly Rae's Son and Clara, was named the runner-up of the season. Spears did not return for the show's third season. Spears appeared on the song Scream and Shout with will.i.am, which was released as the third single from his fourth studio album, Willpower. The song later became Spears' sixth #1 single on the UK singles chart and peaked at #3 on the Billboard Hot 100. Scream and Shout was among the best-selling songs of 2012 and 13, with denoting sales of over 8.1 million worldwide. The accompanying music video was the third most viewed video in 2013 on Vivo, despite the video being released in 2012. And in December 2012, Forbes named her music's top earning woman of 2012 with estimated earnings of $58 million. Spears began work on her 8th studio album Britney Jean in December 2012 and enlisted will.i.am as its executive producer in May 2013. In January, Spears and Jason Travick ended their engagement. Travick was also removed as Spears' co-conservator, restoring her father as the sole conservator. Following the breakup, she began dating David Lucado in March. The couple split in August 2014. During the production of Britney Jean, Spears recorded the song Ooh La La for the soundtrack of The Smurfs' Second, which was released in June 2013. On September, she appeared on Good Morning America to announce her 2-year concert residency at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, titled Britney, Piece of Me. It began on December 27, 2013 and included a total of 100 shows throughout 2014 and 15. During the same appearance, Spears announced that Britney Jean would be released on December 3rd in the United States. It was released through RCA Records due to the disbandment of Jive Records in 2011, which had formed the joint RCA Jive label group, initially known as BMG label group, between 2007 and 11. Britney Jean became Spears' final project under her original recording contract with Jive, which had guaranteed the release of 8 studio albums. The record received a low amount of promotion and had little commercial impact, reportedly due to time conflicts involving preparations for Britney Piece of Me. Upon its release, the record debuted at number 4 on the US Billboard 200 with first week sales of 107,000 copies, becoming her lowest peaking and lowest selling album in the United States. Britney Jean debuted at number 34 on the UK Albums Chart, selling 12,000 copies in its first week. In doing so, it became Spears' lowest charting and lowest selling album in the country. Work Bitch was released as the lead single from Britney Jean in September 2013. It debuted and peaked at number 12 on the US Billboard Hot 200, marking Spears' 31st entry on the chart and the 5th highest debut of her career on the chart, and her 7th in the top 20. It also marks Spears' 19th top 20 entry and overall her 23rd top 40 single. The song marks Spears' highest sales debut since her 2011 number 1 single, Hold It Against Me. Work Bitch debuted and peaked at number 7 on the UK singles chart. The song also peaked within the top 10 of the charts in Brazil, Canada, France, Italy, Mexico and Spain. The second single, Perfume, premiered in November 2013. It debuted and peaked at number 76 on the US Billboard Hot 100. In October, she was featured as a guest vocalist on the song SMS Bangers by Miley Cyrus from the latter's fourth studio album, Bangers. On January 8, 2014, Spears won Favorite Pop Artist at the 48th People's Choice Awards at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. And in August, Spears confirmed she had renewed her contract with RCA and that she was writing and recording new music for her next album. Spears announced via Twitter in August 2014 that she would be releasing an intimate apparel line called the Intimate Britney Spears. It was available to be purchased beginning on September 2014 in the United States and Canada through Spears' Intimate Collection website. It was later available on September 25th for purchase in Europe. The company now ships to over 200 countries, including Australia and New Zealand. On September 2014, Spears confirmed on Good Morning Britain that she had extended her contract with the Axis and Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino to continue Britney Piece of Me for 2 additional years. Spears began dating television producer Charlie Eberso in October 2014. The pair were split in June 2015. In March the same year, it was confirmed by People magazine that Spears would release a new single, Pretty Girls, with Iggy Azalea. The song debuted, peaked at number 29 on the Billboard Hot 100 and charted moderately in international territories. Spears and Azalea performed the track live at the 2015 Billboard Music Awards from the Axis, the home of Spears' residency. The positive critical response. Entertainment Weekly praised the performance, noting Spears gave one of her most energetic televised performances in years. On June 16, Giorgio Moroder released his album Deja Vu that featured Spears on Tom's Dinner. The song was released as the 4th single from the album on October 9th. In an interview, Moroder praised Spears' vocals and said that she did a good job with the song, and also stated that Spears sounds so good that you would hardly recognize her. At the 2015 Teen Choice Awards, Spears received the Candy Style Icon Award, her ninth Teen Choice Award. In November 2015, Spears guest starred as a fictionalized version of herself on the TV series Jane the Virgin. On the show, she danced to Toxic with Gina Rodriguez's character. February 21st, 2022, it was reported that Spears signed a $15 million book deal for her upcoming memoir, one of the biggest book deals of all time. On July 11, 2023, Spears announced that the book would be titled The Woman in Me and is set to be released on October 24, 2023. In April 2022, she announced her pregnancy with Asghari's child, which ended in a miscarriage the following month. The couple married on June 9th at her home in Thousand Oaks, Los Angeles. None of Spears' immediate family, including her parents, sister and brother, were invited. Her two sons did not attend. Spears' first husband, Jason Alexander, attempted to crash the wedding by breaking into her home armed with a knife but was arrested. Spears had a 3-year restraining order against him, and on August 26, Spears and English musician Elton John released the duet Hold Me Closer, a remake of John's 1972 single Tiny Dancer. It was Spears' first musical release since the termination of her conservatorship. Hold Me Closer debuted at number 6 on the US Billboard Hot 100, becoming her 14th top 10 single and her highest charting song in the chart since Scream and Shout. It debuted at number 3 on the UK singles chart, earning Spears her 24th top 10. Since the termination of her conservatorship, Spears' personal life, social media presence, and overall well-being have been subject to renewed media interest and fan speculation, giving rise to conspiracy theories. On January 24, 2023, disputes from the Ventura County Sheriff's Office performed a welfare check at Spears' residence after receiving several calls from fans who were concerned after she deleted her Instagram account. A spokesperson for the Sheriff's Department stated that Spears was safe and in no danger. Spears addressed the incident on her Twitter account, asking fans to respect her privacy. Spears and rapper will.i.am released her collaboration Mind Your Business on July 21, 2023. You guys for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and give a comment below to let me know what you think of her life, persona and iconic legacy. Thank you. Bye.